Do not fear.
Okay, I finally did it. I set everything up. Welcome to the art club this week. Oh my gosh. Today we're going to paint. It's been a bigger setup than normal art club episodes, but that's okay because it's paint. When we're talking about paint, there could be three main different types of paint that people are talking about. Acrylic paint, there's oil paint, and there's water paint, okay? Today we're going to talk about acrylic paint. Acrylic paint just means that the paint is water-based. So there's water in here, which means you can wash it off your hands with water. Your hands, your brushes, everything can be washed with water. Okay, there's one other thing that I forgot to mention, and that is a canvas. A canvas is really good to have to paint on. This is actually already painted on, but I didn't have a blank one, so I'm just gonna paint over this painting. I don't really care about it. You can paint on paper, but it should be pretty thick paper, and just know that the paper gets wet because it's got water in the paint. Usually it will make the paper kind of wrinkly and bubbly after. If that's your thing, then no problem. I'm going to start by putting some paint on my little palette, okay? Shake up the paint first. So I have a brush that's a little bit wide, and I have some small brushes too. I just got these at the dollar store. I find they work really good for acrylic paint. They're pretty smooth. Of course, you can get like $100 brushes or $30 brushes if you want from the art store, but maybe we'll just start with some from Dollarama. So I'm just gonna start with explaining how to swipe your brush. You know, when I teach kids how to paint, sometimes I see them do something and it kind of makes me go, please don't do that. And the thing is, brushes have hair that goes in a direction, okay? We wanna swipe with the hair, okay? So you can brush this way. You can turn the brush over and brush this way. But you shouldn't brush this way. That could ruin the brush, okay? When you push upwards against the hair, sometimes the hairs will they'll all wrinkle up, and it doesn't do good for the brush or your painting, really. So we always have to go with the direction of the bristles. Okay, so I'm just starting with some white. See, we can do it like this, like sweeping. We sweep back and forth, but we don't go this way. Just swipe with the bristles, with the direction of the bristles so that they flow. It's kind of like when you have long hair and you come up out of the water. Okay, so I've got my little white area. I want to let you know you should be careful with the color black. If you put black in your painting, it can overpower all the other colors. The first black was kind of watery or something, so I've got to use a different one. I have a different bottle. There we go. That's the real color. So when we use black, unless you want the whole painting to be really dark, just try to use tiny bits of black at a time because it will overpower everything. For blending acrylic paint, you kind of have to do it fast before it dries because this will dry probably in 5 or 10 minutes and you won't be able to blend anymore. So if you want to blend, make sure the paint is still wet, and then you take the color you want to blend. So let's say I want to blend white with, we'll say blue. I take a little bit of blue on my brush and I sweep it down And then beside it a little bit, I sweep down again. And then beside it again, I sweep down again. And then again. See what's happening? It's blending together. So it goes really slowly from white to blue. So when we add a color to the white, I'm going to dip my brush in the water. I like to put my brush down to the bottom. And again, don't mash your brush straight down because that will ruin the bristles. So we sweep the bottom of the container. Sweep, sweep, sweep. It changes the color of the water too. Sweep. Oh, it looks pretty clean. I'll do it a little bit more. And then why did we have that cloth ready? Because of all this water, we want to dab it off. So I'm going to put the water container down. We just dab and dab so that it's more dry. Because if you add water, dripping water to the paint, it's going to be kind of watery and messy and you don't have as much control. I'll try to show you again the blending. I'm going to add some white just in case. Oops, I got some black there. Just in case it started to dry. Okay. So now I want to blend some red. So I take a little bit of the red. I swipe it down where I want the darkest part to be. Because right now I have the most paint on my brush. See? Might even want to put another one before I move over. Okay. Move it over. Move it over. Move it over. See? Blending the red. Red and white makes pink. Now I turned my painting around because I'm going to paint a little character. I got a smaller brush. I'm going to use some beige. I'm going to paint a circle. Ears. Now before that's dry, I'm going to start to blend a little bit. So I grab a tiny bit of red, really tiny amount, and I'm going to put it on the cheeks. See, that looks really dark. So I'm going to take some more beige and go around it. Blending it in. You're kind of like smushing the paints together to make a lighter color. I need more beige. It's too sharp of a line right there. Okay, now again, before it's dry, I'm going to quickly get some white. And this will be for the light parts of the face, okay? The forehead, the cheeks, the nose, and the chin. Okay, that looks a little bit funny, so let's blend it more. I'm going to go around the edges of this white patch and pull away from it. See? Blend the chin light. Put a little bit more on the ears here. You can keep making tiny strokes all around until it's all blended in really well. Okay, now I'm gonna make it look kind of funny here. This brush is kind of rounded, and that will let me do the eyes. I'm gonna do the white part of the eyes first. I'm painting the white part first because I'm painting the under layers first. When you paint the layers underneath and build up, build up, build up on top. I'll just paint some brown hair while I wait for the eyes to dry. This looks a little bit like my son Hunter. Maybe I'll put some yellow highlights in his hair, Eyebrows. And now I'm going to paint the eyes. Just do some circles. And it's blending with the lighter color underneath. So it's kind of making the brown eyes look really nice. Because black is so harsh and this isn't dry yet, I'm going to use brown to outline everything, and then you're going to see this guy really come to life. So remember, we never move backwards like this against the bristles. We only swipe with the bristles in the same direction. So I'm going to do that the whole way around. Now there's one thing we can't forget. Whenever I do eyes, I've got to have the shine dot. Just gotta. So since it's not dry yet, you might want to take a little extra on your glob. And up in the right hand corner, I like to put a little dot and a dot. So there you go. All right, so that is a little basic training on acrylic painting. And I want to make sure you do not forget something very, very important. Every good artist always cleans up after themselves. See, I've got a brush with paint on it here. You just take all the brushes that you used. You probably could even put this underneath so that you don't drip on anything. You go into the bathroom and really, really close down to the drain, you're going to run water over them, and one by one, you're going to hold them under the water and kind of like washing hair. Just imagine you have to wash your little baby paintbrush's hair after you're done using them, or else they will dry solid like a rock and then you'll have to buy more. So we don't want to have to do that. So we wash our paintbrush's hair after every time. And you could even use some soap. It would work well. While the water is running over, I like to use warm. Put some soap and just wash them, rub them until all the paint is out of the brush. Then you're gonna see there's probably paint splattered all over the sink, hopefully only inside the sink. You have to take some water and wash that off. Like sometimes you can use your hand and just wipe it down. And if you get acrylic paint on your table or on something that you don't want it on, like your shirt or your clothes, Sometimes you can get it out, but before it dries. So that's about it. Just have fun with it, practice, be careful with black. Don't rub your paintbrush against the bristles because that will ruin the brush. And make sure you always clean up after yourself. It's really, really fun to paint, and Christmas is coming. So it would be a really cool idea to paint something for someone. It just makes a really great lasting gift. So before we go, I want to open up the Art Club mailbox. Ooh. What is in here? Oh goodness. This is something that I made as a Christmas ornament a few years ago. And it's what I like to call my chubby angel. I made it out of clay, and then I used acrylic paint to paint all these details that you see. So he's fully painted in acrylic paint, and then I put glitter on him, and then I glazed him over with some acrylic glaze, which you can also find at the art store or I think Walmart even sells it. So that's it for this episode on painting. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to send me in your artwork. You guys are doing such a great job. Have a great and awesome week, guys.